But tell us, what are some of the things that people need to think about well before they move in to make sure that it goes smoothly? Kesh talked about booking a lift, but I'm sure that there's a ton of other things that people need to think of.
Look, that's right, James. We look hard to find the perfect property, whether we bought a new house, whether we're tenants, we're renters, we're getting ready to move in. We're so excited that sometimes we forget the basic things, the things that we need in order to make
and that can spoil the whole experience. I mean, I know firsthand. I'm going to steal one of your points. I forgot to connect the electricity. It was my first time moving from beautiful Bondi Beach to Melbourne in July. And I tell you what, it was freezing cold. I had to abandon the place and go and book a hotel because that was no good. So I've learned that firsthand. I'll never make that mistake again. Hence, I never moved again. But I'm sure there's lots of other tricks and tips like that.
There are, and we'll run through as many as time allows us to. So first of all is change of address. Okay, so you got to make sure you change your address so you still get all your mail
it's mainly bills, address. So maybe some people don't want to change their address.
Also, voter registration is another important one that people forget.
Yep.
So it's very important to do that. Like you said correctly before, make sure you transfer all your utilities in advance. And although most of these are done online these days, there are some things that take a little bit longer. For example, internet, it might not be able to be done on the spot. If you love your movies and your sports like me, Foxtel, it's another one because they have to send you out the box. So you got to make sure you prepare yourself well in advance for that. Another important one, which I unfortunately felt miserably, is take measurements. So when you move into a place, you got to make measurements that your furniture would fit in the door, that your fridge will fit in its spot, not like me where I have to send the fridge back and buy another one and wait for a few days without a fridge, your washing machine, all those things. So just make sure you take measurements so your furniture will fit. Another important one that doesn't really cost a lot of money but offers a lot of peace of mind is change the locks, because you don't know the previous owners, previous tenants, agents. You don't know how many keys are out there. So it's always wise to change your locks. Now, when you move, plan your moving day strategy. So, speak with your movers, book them. Good movers get booked, they're very quick. So if you've got a company you prefer to deal with, make sure you book them to find out which days and times they're available, so then you can organize your moving. If you're a tenant moving into a new property, do your ingoing inspection report, ideally before the furniture gets down. So then you can really see every corner of the house and take lots of photos. Don't be afraid to be specific with any dents, scratches, whatever you might see, because that means when you move out, you don't have to pay for it. Start decluttering. Okay, I mean, why move things that you're going to throw away? Again, I'm guilty of this. So, go through your garage, go through your wardrobes, donate any old things that you don't want. Otherwise, organize a cancel pickup. Put your things out on the nature strip and the cancel will come and pick it up. Be mindful that certain things cannot be thrown out. For example, tins of paint. So, and hazardous
what about
materials.
Your kids and your wife? Can you throw them out while they're out to do a cancel pickup?
But I was going to say, again, not to throw out, but you've got to organize, for your children. If you've got children, maybe they stay with their in-laws or relatives or friends that day. If you've got a pet. So you've got to think of all those things in advance. Cleaning up. So you shouldn't wait until the day you're moving out to clean up, because there's things like walls, ceilings, blinds, lights. You can start cleaning all those things well before you move out. Have everything packed before the movers get there. All right, so don't have the movers show up and you start packing. Okay, and have your moving equipment ready. Boxes, tape, scissors, markers. You can never have enough of these things. And now this is another important one. Pack a suitcase with all your essentials. So a change of clothes when you go to your place, your toothbrush, your pajamas, because last thing you want is after a long day of moving, going through the boxes to try and find out where those things are.
If you put enough in there, you could even leave everything packed up for a few weeks, I guess.
That's what I did.
Yes.
Now, always have enough. I know we don't have much time, so I'm going to finish with always make sure you have enough cash on you, because you have a lunch break, you might buy the removalist lunch or yourself, or the removalist quote you certain price, but like me, they stayed another 7 hours. So then you got to pay them some extra amounts. If you're doing the moving yourself, a lot of people forget where they take the removalist truck back, then you attach it to take them to the new house. So always just make sure you got enough cash on you.
Yep, very, very good idea. Now, I know also you wanted to have a quick chat about insurance. I know we had a few questions about that.
Correct.
So maybe can you just sort of give us a bit of an overview? Insurance is one word, but it is quite a complex thing. There's very different types of insurance, and I guess we're specifically talking about insurance for your home here. Can you sort of break it down for the viewers? What are the different types and a couple of key things they should look out for?
Okay, so basically there's two types of insurance. One is the building insurance and one is the contents insurance. So for those that don't understand what is the difference between the two, first of all, home and building insurance is the same thing. So it basically, in short, it covers any main dwelling or garage or anything that's lockable, and it covers the permanently attached and fixed things that you have in that property.
Yeah.
And contents are the things.
So a question I know we always get asked, freestanding home.
Yes.
It's an obvious question, you get it.
Yes.
We always get asked the questions by, a lot of our listeners, if they're living in a strata building, an apartment building, do they need home insurance?
No, I was going to go into that.
Sorry,
so
I've stolen your thunder.
If you're living in an apartment, you do not get a building insurance, as that is covered by the strata or your body corporate. You just need to get a contents insurance.
Right. So hit us, contents insurance.
Contents insurance is basically everything inside your house that is not permanently fixed to the walls, but it's things like furniture, carpet, TV, fridges, things like that. Now, some people ask, how is the cost calculated? Okay, so it is basically depends on the amount that you insure and what is the likelihood of you making a claim. So they're the two main things that determine how much you pay. And I've done a little bit of research on this very quickly.
Okay.
So normally if you insure a property that's worth $1 million, your policy will be around $2,200. Okay. But do check around, because when I did a little bit of research between different insurers, I found a difference of $1,700 between companies. So always do your research. Have I got a few more seconds?
Have a few more seconds.
Okay.
I've got the green light that the boys are back in range. So finish off though before they steal the thunder.
So look, there are some things that are not covered in your insurance, and some things that you've got to be specific about. For example, jewelry. So typically speaking, anything that is jewelry or worth more than $15,000, your insurance will request that you specifically itemize each one of those items.
Yeah.
Things like laptop, because a lot of people have laptops these days and their whole life is there. That is typically covered under a business insurance, which is up to $5,000. If you have the grandma's piano that you're moving, make sure you insure it even when you remove your removalist, pick it up to move it into the property. And there's some things obviously that we cannot insure, like photo albums, passports, and documents like that. So just make sure the insurer that you choose to look into some things, what is insured and what you might have to specify in the insurance.
All right, very good. Hopefully all of you got some value out of that. I do know that we didn't, for some of you, might have been thinking of landlord insurance, which is another type for those of you that are investors. Obviously, when we have a focus on investors, we perhaps might get you back and you can run through that, because I think that's also a very important type of policy for those people out there that are investors, because they might think that they don't need insurance. But I think if ever there was a time, it became really, really apparent how good that insurance was over the last couple of years, with the amount of carnage that's happened with the coronavirus and all the lockdowns that have been occurring.